Stop those boys. While Edward went to the works to be mended, James took a rest in the shed for a while. When he was better, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him. "Don't worry, James. The railway wasn't entirely your fault," he said. "These gentlemen are the investigators. They'll find out what caused you to race across the main line."
"Yes, sir,"
said James.
"Am I going to do Edmund's work as well as my own?"
Sir Topham Hatt nodded. "Yes, James," he said. "Our left driver will fill in for your other driver until he gets better." James felt delighted to be out and running again as he set off to do his work. Meanwhile, the investigators were at the signal box in the yards, talking to the signalman. "Excuse me, signalman," said one. "How did James rush out of the yards and race across the main line?" "Well," said the signalman, and he explained everything. As he finished the whole story, the investigators were very surprised. Later that day at the big station, the engines were preparing their trains. "Do you think the investigators will figure out how you raced across the main line?" asked Henry.
"I'm most certain they will,"
said James, feeling determined. "Pa," huffed Gordon, "I'm pretty sure James's brake lever must have malfunctioned." "Rubbish," said Percy, as he shunted James's fake cars into place. "I'm pretty sure someone fiddled with the controls." "Well, we're going to have to find out for sure," replied Thomas as he steamed in with Annie and Clarabelle. Then the conductor's whistle blew and James had to go.
"I'm going to keep finding out more of what happened yesterday,"
he said. Soon James arrived at Edward Station. When he arrived, he saw the porter looking worried. The relief driver stepped out and asked what was the matter. "What's wrong?" he asked. "The luggage cart has gone missing," replied the porter.
"Someone must have stolen it,"
James thought to himself. Then he heard the sound of some wheels and a voice saying, "Whoa!" and he saw the boys going over a bridge up ahead. James then remembered something.
"That must have been the boys which caused me to race across the main line,"
he thought.
"Driver,"
he called.
"I found the gold bridge. They were racing across the bridge. We must stop them."
"Then the chase is on," said the relief driver. James let off steam, determined to catch them. James steamed along the line as fast as he could to stop the boys. He then saw the boys about to approach the crossing.
"All right, when we reach the crossing, put the brakes,"
said James. They were getting closer and closer to the crossing.
"Now,"
he said, and the relief driver shot off steam and he put on the brakes. The boys saw James and stopped at once. They were soon caught by the police and were taken away. When James came back, there was a chorus of cheers and whistles. Sir Topham Hatt was there too. "Well done, James," he said. "I've heard everything and I'm very pleased with you. If it weren't for you, the boys would have caused even more trouble."
"Oh, thank you, sir,"
said James. The boys were soon taken to their homes by the police, and their fathers gave them a good scolding. Then they were forbidden to watch trains until they could be trusted. James's driver soon got well in hospital and was back at work. James was glad that he was back, but he missed Edward more. And you will be glad to know that when Edward came back, the engines all gave him a warm welcome. Sir Topham Hatt thinks he'll be deaf for weeks.